Late season fly fishing in our Drakensberg rivers is a special time when the weather is generally milder and the water levels are subsiding, which makes access to the river a little easier. River fishing in KZN has so many different opportunities, but for our trip we decided to take on the lesser fished waters. There are many smaller streams and tributaries in the central berg, and plenty accommodation nearby. Either way, it does guarantee a stiff walk and rambling along the rivers. We arrived only at midday, and after dropping off our stuff, we set out. Getting to our turn point, we set up tackle. We decided to have a 7'6" dry fly rod with 3-weight line, an 8'6" nymph rod to turn over a dropper fly and small trailing nymph, and a 9'4" weight to do duty as a check nymph rod with 2 heavy beaded flies. It didn't take long to take the first feisty little brown on a very effective check nymph method. It was landed and released safely, and so nice to see this little guy dart off for the cover of the bank. We tried with the normal nymph rod and also selected the venerable triple D dry fly, but at the next pull, now covered in shade, the check nymph proved successful, although this fish came off. We tried different angles scrambling up rock for a better vantage point. The river offered so many good-looking runs, but we were not having much success. At the next covered pull, fish came on again, but the river was proving more difficult than usual. We gave the dry fly another try, and off-camera got into a fair-sized rainbow. We found a strange green algae growth on the riverbed, and it was quite silted on the bottom. So that evening, we tied up a few special weightless pheasant tail nymphs for the next morning. It is always fun to reminisce on the day's fishing and discussing prospects for the following days while tying a fly or two. These flies were not of catalogue standard and were an impromptu design on what we thought the flies had to look like. The following morning we set off again and found a small overgrown tributary stream. We reached a small little pool and a few small trout obliged. The next little pool, a small rainbow obliged on the nymph we tied the previous night. It is always satisfying when a freshly tied fly produces. After a quick release, we returned and decided to try another stream in the next valley on our way home. And, as they say, first cast produced the best fish for the trip. We weren't even ready with the camera equipment, and it was a mad scramble to get some footage, with the 8'6" nymph rod doing the duty. We managed another few other fish from the pool and lost a nice rainbow. The venerable 8'6" 4-weight rod remained such a good all-rounder, but it was so worthwhile to end our trip with this nice fish, and with that picture in our minds, the drive back was more bearable. Since Sensational Angling Supplies took over the Stealth brand, a whole new range of tackle has been developed and is proving its worth.